So Second Harvest, it started by two women that wanted to make a difference in their community in 1985.
What we do and what we do incredibly well is work with time-sensitive perishable food, healthy, nutrient-dense food. There you go. Have a great day. My role with Second Harvest is manager of food recovery, and I'm sort of the hunter-gatherer of the organization. In the field looking for food. There's a lot of stewardship at this point. We brought in 12.5 million pounds of food last year. That's diverting a lot of surplus that otherwise would have found its way to a landfill. We're able to get it to those in need. The relationship between Second Harvest and Green Relief started 4 years ago. And at that point in time, they were not producing cannabis, but they were gearing up for it. So they were growing a lot of wonderful vegetables, kale specifically, collard greens. The produce was gorgeous, it was voluminous, and they were very generous. So back then, we would do exactly as we're doing now. We would dispatch a van. There were fish available and any surplus produce they had for us to harvest. For what we do at Second Harvest, I personally don't think that we have a food donor that offers something as fresh as the tilapia that Green Relief donates to us about every 30 days. So generally what happens, again, we spoke to it, we have generally about a 30-day heads up when there's going to be a donation of fresh tilapia from Green Relief. When the van gets to Green Relief, the team is there with ice that they've purchased, and Second Harvest will have totes and coolers in the van that we've picked up, rinsed thoroughly, cleaned. The totes and coolers are liberated from the back of the van, and then the staff at Green Relief begin catching the tilapia. The coolers and totes are lined with ice. We try to do this as ethically as possible. The fish are then introduced into the coolers. The team is very thorough in counting how many tilapia go into each cooler. We know down to the fish what the count is. And once all the fish have been put in the totes, they're reintroduced into the van, which is climate controlled. And then the drive begins from Flamborough, Green Relief, to Good Shepherd, Toronto. We alert the team, the volunteers, and the staff at Good Shepherd Toronto were there, and then the coolers are brought in and the fish is prepared accordingly and then put on ice, and the circle repeats itself the next 30 days. So with each donation of fresh tilapia from Green Relief, I would say that roughly 1,000 people, 1,000 meals could be served once the tilapia is filleted appropriately. It breaks down. So you're touching about 1,000 people, where that's the protein source of the meal. And that's a very impressive number. And to be able to do this about every 30 days over the course of a month of a year, you can quite easily do the math and sort of feel the impression, the difference that makes. So we're back at Second Harvest in the city of Toronto, and our fleet is returned from a day of delivering food throughout Toronto and into the greater Toronto area. There's still a couple of trucks on the road, and we're going to pop into the warehouse and give you a tour, let you see the freezer, cooler, and what's on the floor. How we're different than a food bank is our focus on food recovery, food rescue, which is for the most part perishable. And our focus is on nutrient-dense perishable, which is specifically protein, produce, and dairy.
Again, we're aiming towards the end of 2019, early 2020, before Second Harvest, we'll have our new facility. And at that point, as Green Relief grows into Stony Creek, I just think it's going to be a wonderful dovetail that's going to serve both the donor, Green Relief, and the lucky recipient, Second Harvest. And it's something we as an organization, as a collective, look very forward to.
And again, the fish is being donated. That's a big takeaway that can't be lost. They have every opportunity to wholesale the tilapia, but they want to do the right thing. The right thing with Green Relief seems to be the only thing. And if all of our donors had that approach, my job personally would certainly be easier. Most grateful, personally and as an organization, we're most grateful for the ongoing support